something. Are you following me, everybody? It's difficult to find that balance. I want to illustrate a couple of ideas here for you. Courage, a virtue that we know, one of our 6 lower school pillars. Too much courage can lead to recklessness and get others hurt, whereas not enough courage may leave important situations unattended, shying away from intervening for the sake of the common good. Temperance, for example. Excessive self-control can lead a person to becoming rigid, joyless, or boring. True. Whereas an utter lack of self-control can lead to inappropriate or dangerous behavior in any given situation. Are you seeing how the virtue lies in between the vice? Yes? Justice. Excessive justice might lead one to call out what's wrong, which is not a bad thing, but they might do so in a humiliating or degrading manner. Whereas a lack of justice leads to a complete disregard for what is good and right. The pursuit of virtue means finding that moderation point, the balance between the vices in all human experience. Not too much, not too little. The right action at the right time in the right way. Good judgment and action. This cannot be attained without prudence. How does prudence work? Practically speaking, we can use our memory to grow in prudence. Learning from past experiences. In any given situation, we can ask ourselves, what's happened before? What can I recall? Have I seen this situation elsewhere? Have I seen a friend get in trouble for this same type of thing, something related? Use your memory. That will help guide your prudence. Secondly, understanding. Perceiving the reality of a situation clearly helps someone to grow in prudence. You might ask yourself in any situation, what is really going on here? What's most important for me in this given moment? What is best for me and those around me? And lastly, foresight, anticipating consequences. We can ask ourselves in any situation if we'd like to be prudent, what is likely to happen if I choose this? How will this affect me now, in the future, those around me? Am I actually okay with these consequences? Actually? And even if I am okay, because I know some of you guys are like, yeah, I'll be fine with PBS or whatever it is. Even if you're okay with the consequences, I think it's still good to ask yourself, even if I'm fine with what comes my way, is it right for me to make this choice anyways? This is how you can guide your prudence. I want to give you an example. A student walks into class, and it's an example that you probably see often. A student walks into class, and friends in that class make it tempting for that student to check out, have side conversations throughout the lesson, disrupt the class at times for the sake of a laugh. This student has choices as they walk into their class. What prudence would do is it would recall the last time they did this. They were issued consequences and their parents were called. That's the memory. Prudence would recognize the importance of putting effort into one's own education, respecting that of their peers, and being an active member of the learning community. That's understanding, really seeing the situation for what it is. And third, prudence would foresee falling behind in class as a consequence, losing learning, risking further consequences. That's anticipating foresight. Prudence would then act accordingly to what is right. Are you with me, everybody? Captain and Ben, are you with me, boys? Good. Good to know. It is not easy being prudent. You will encounter resistance. Some of you are right now. Every moment will hold different temptations for you. Things pulling you towards one vice or another. It is up to you to find the virtue in each moment and act accordingly. So how do we practice this virtue? How do we practice prudence? First, very practically, very easily, everyone, I'm trying to make this attainable for you. Because further virtue and further excellence will be unattainable if you can't get prudence right. So what does prudence look like with skin on? How can you do this daily? Before you do something, before you say something, you pause before acting. Read this with me, everybody, beginning at build. Ready, begin.
Build a habit of asking, what will happen if I do this?
It can be that simple, ladies and gentlemen. What will happen if I do this? Unfortunately, many students that I speak with through the day who find themselves in a place of trouble, when asked, why did you do this, their answer is, there you have it. I am urging you to know. I am urging you to have a good reason in defense for a choice that you made. If you can take time to pause and think, you will avoid a lot of the ruts you find yourself in. Secondly, seek wise counsel. I'd like for you to read this with me, beginning at talk. Ready, begin. Talk to parents. Is it on there? Was I assuming it was? All good. Ready, begin. Talk to parents, teachers, mentors before making big decisions. Do you guys know it all? Maybe I shouldn't ask that question. Maybe some of you think you do. There's going to be situations you encounter that you feel confident in, that you know what the right thing to do is. But there are other choices that are above you. Others with experience who have been through that want to come alongside you, who would be wise to talk with them. Talk with a parent. Talk with teachers that you feel close to, coaches, pastors, mentors. Seek wise counsel that will help you to be prudent. And third, lastly, we have form good habits. Please read with me at small, ready, begin. Small daily choices, study, prayer, honesty. I don't know what happened there. It's okay. Some of you guys are so sick of me telling you to tuck your shorts in. Raise your hand if you're sick of that. It's not going to stop. But there's other things as well, small things that you might roll your eyes at when corrected for. Things like voice level, things like lining up, things like tucking your shirt in, things like coming into a class quietly, things like cleaning up after yourself and others. These things seem small and you go, why am I getting nagged about this? Why am I getting checked on for this? The reality is, students, the choices you make daily, no matter how seemingly insignificant they are, if you do them over and over again, they will become a habit. And a habit leads to your character. I started this by sharing we become like the communities we find ourselves in. Many of you have habits and just ways of doing things that you might attribute to your family. Well, guess what? Living in your family and making choices daily the way your family does results in habits, and then that has formed who you are today. You, right now, are a result of many small choices and leading to habits, thus forming your character now. That can still be formed moving forward. So small choices, every small choice matters. Not to put pressure on you, but they do. And so I've included a few here that are more contemplative in nature to help you slow down and seek wisdom in your choices. Things like studying. This is good for academics. Things like prayer and honesty. Being honest with yourself in a situation. Is getting the laugh right now really what's best for me and others? Right? This is being honest. I'd like for you to consider two things. Number one, where have I seen great prudence in my life? Where have I seen great prudence? Also, on the other side of that coin, where have I seen a lack of prudence? I want everybody in this room right now to think about that. Where have you seen great prudence? Great judgment that acts accordingly. It may be easier to identify what's in the red, a lack of prudence. Raise your hand if you've seen a lack of prudence this past week at school or at home. Okay. The second thing I'd like you to consider is how has that great prudence resulted in goodness, and how has that lack of prudence resulted in something vicious? Think about that as we go into our day today. A closing challenge for my students here. This next week, as we wrap up this one, before you make a choice, big or small, I'd like for you to do something very simple. Pause for 5 seconds and ask yourself, what is the best choice for me to make right now? Prudence is not about being perfect, but it is about learning to make choices that lead you to the closer, good, and beautiful and true. This virtue initially benefits us as individuals first, but at a certain point, it begins to benefit the larger community. Raise your hand if you think those around you can be affected positively if you're thinking prudently. Raise your hand if you think that you will impact your community by being prudent. You will. You will. As we head into quarter 2, our focus will turn from inward prudence to outward justice. We'll practice personal prudence and making right choices for ourselves, and through quarter 2, we'll focus on considering how to do right by others, by our peers, teachers, colleagues, and community members, from prudence to justice, from inward to outward. Please join me in welcoming up Mrs. Park and then Mr. Davis.
That was an excellent presentation. You guys agree? Don't just hear it and forget about it. Engrave onto your hearts what you just heard. I'm going to say it again. Engrave onto your hearts what you just heard so that you can apply it. Between the two words, wisdom and prudence, prudence is my more favored word because it includes the act of action, the act of applying. Wisdom is knowing something, but prudence is actually applying it. I want all of you to grow up to be citizens who can apply what you know to be true and good and beautiful. I wanted to add on to what Mr. Shapu just shared, specifically around the topic of see something, say something. How many of you guys have heard of that phrase before? I'm surprised, those of you who didn't hear it, perhaps you didn't go to our lower school. See something, say something is not a recommendation at OCCA, it is a requirement. Repeat after me. Anything that is deemed harmful.
Anything that is deemed harmful
To self or others.
to self or others.
I'm talking about physical harmful, emotional harmful, mental harmful, any type of form of anything that may be deemed harmful is an expectation at OCCA for you to report properly. That is being a responsible citizen. I thought maybe it might be helpful for me as a headmaster to make that very clear with all of you. Because I know it is much harder to apply this in upper school than in lower school. Can anybody guess why? Elijah, why do you think? Speak up really loud so I can hear you. I can't really hear you that well, but I think I'm getting the gist of it. In lower school, it's easier to be more obedient to what the adults tell you. In upper school, and I don't think this is a bad thing, you're naturally growing up. You're naturally becoming your own independent thinker. You are starting to grow and develop your personal opinions. Your personalities are becoming much more distinct and stronger, and it's a beautiful thing. We want you to choose to report what you consider to be harmful to self or others, because it's simply the right thing to do. And sometimes the peer pressure becomes much more realistic in our school. You guys agree with that? Let's be honest, it's not the easiest thing to do, and we understand that. Even for adults, it doesn't get easier. And sometimes your friends or peers might see that as talented. You guys agree? Yes, that pressure is real, and we understand and recognize it. However, at any moment, the biggest question that you can ask yourself is, what is the right thing to do? I can't force you to do what's right, but I highly recommend that you do what is right. All of these conversations that we're having around prudence, thinking prudently about anticipating the consequences, those are all great, but that's secondary. The primary is simply that you protect your heart to make sure that you are choosing to do what is right, because ultimately, our end goal for all of you is to pursue what is good and beautiful and true, so that you can become happy citizens. So that you can become what? We want you to be happy. We genuinely do. All of our teachers here, we work hard. You guys see that? I hope you recognize that. You have some invested teachers here. And we work hard, we make sacrifices for you so that you can become happy. And I hope you are filled with gratitude and expressing that gratitude. But know that ultimately, it's not so that we're nagging at you and we want the school to be too strict and we want you guys to, be like robots. It's not that. We're never going to give up on pursuing happiness for you. But we also understand that that's not something that we can force you. That's something that you have to choose for yourself. So going back to see something, say something. There's a lot of prudence that is required for you to report these things. Think about righteously, who do I report? And what do I report? And how do I report? When in doubt, write it up. You might be saving somebody's life. You might be making a significant difference. Also, this may be hard to hear. Know that when it comes to friendship, not everyone is a friend. You have to choose your friends. And friendship may change also depending on your character. Be wise in how you're choosing your friends as well. Okay, I will have to wrap this up. Lastly, I want to remind all of you, congratulations, House Washington. My reminder is that the House days are meant to be fun. We want you to have fun appropriately. We want you to find appropriate times to be silly and let it out. There's going to be lots of opportunities to do that. That's what it's for, appropriately. However, don't make these house days only be competitive. The bigger vision is for you to get to know each other. I expect all of you guys within your houses to at least know everybody's names. That is the biggest thing. Know everybody's names. I don't care if you're a 6th grader, a 10th grader. No, you guys are all one family within your house. Be courteous. Encourage one another, as I see that happening very often during our sports. Our team in sports really stand out, and I've noticed it much more significantly, and it's because you guys emphasize moral virtues. Continue to do that. I'm very happy to see it. I'm very proud of you. And make sure that you spend some time really getting to know each other. Got it?
Yes.
Say yes, Mrs. Park, if you agree.
Yes, Mrs. Park.
Say louder with conviction.
Yes, Mrs. Park.
Thank you. Very good.
There's a reason why he's gonna buzz.
that we use to really understand whether something is virtuous or does it fall in one of those two extremes of insufficiency or overextension. Right? We talked a little bit about that about 10 minutes ago. When it comes to service, which is going to be a real focus for us this year's houses, this also applies. Service falls somewhere in between insufficiency and an extreme. So I'm going to ask a question. What would be some reasons why someone would be disinclined to serve? Yeah, so selfishness, rather serve themselves than effort, laziness. These are really good examples. This is going to be a harder question. Why would someone have the wrong reason to serve? Why some incorrect reason? This is a tough question. Let me think of it. Money, very good. Anything else? Reputation. Let's ask that question about reputation. What's the problem with wanting to serve for the sake of reputation? How's church at? Go ahead. Pride. Yeah, it's an interesting question, right? If you're doing something like service for reputation, what happens if no one's paying attention? You're probably not going to be serving. So service is also a function of this principle of the virtuous mean. So we're going to present today our service challenge. And I want you to think about three things I think you should ask yourself when it comes to service. One, what do you have? What skills, what time, what resources do you have where you can serve? Two, what actual need exists there that needs to be met where you could serve? Three, I want you to really focus on this. What opportunities are out there that will stretch you and make you become a better server? Okay, so we're going to present right now a service challenge to all of you. I want you to listen really carefully because this is going to be a running goal for each of the houses. And so listen carefully, and we'll talk a little bit at the end of this presentation.
So we are going to be working on a service project, and we are going to be doing this with three principles in mind. It's going to help us to grow as citizens and servants and leaders. So first, we're going to think about how we are going to look at the needs that we're going to be meeting. So first, we want to think about how many service projects are out there. We want to know what is the real need that we can meet, a real need that our community has. And the second thing we're going to do is actually consider how we're able to serve, and to serve in a way that's going to make a real impact. And then the third thing is what challenge we're going to do. So you're going to find that in life that we're going to grow the most when we are challenged. And we're going to take things that are going to bring us out of our comfort zone. So we're looking this year that our service challenge brings us really out of our comfort zone. In this service challenge, in our houses, it's going to take us some time. So we're going to ask each of you to volunteer. And in the first part of the year, there's going to be times where it is a close project, year term, so beginning of this year. And then there's some things that are going to take us longer throughout the year that will take some time to plan and to execute throughout the year. So we're very excited to bring these projects to you, and we hope everyone will be involved.
The church shared that at this point of the year, they have two efforts they would love for us to join them in, the Harvest Festival and Operation Christmas Child. This year, VEC is having their Harvest Festival on Friday the 31st. It's a week after our fall festival. We're asking houses to provide a total of 10 to 20 students to help us set up, which will take place from 3:30 to 6:30, and with manning booths from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. Operation Christmas Child is through Samaritan's Purse. It's a toy drive where we pack shoeboxes of toys that will be distributed across the world to children in need for Christmas. Their national collection week is November 17th through the 24th. So for our first semester, our challenge to all the houses is that students from each house join and help our friends at VEC in their Harvest Festival. And we'll send out sign-ups for you to join today. Second, we want to challenge each house to join VEC in their toy drive for Samaritan's Purse. We'll have more details next week about how that will work. As always, a certain number of house points will be earned proportional to the participation of the houses.
Finally, the Lawrenceburg Service Challenge. It's not hard to see that Santa Ana is a community with a lot of people in need. We see this every day as they arrive and leave from school. There are an immense number of organizations in the city that serve to help people in Santa Ana in need of food. Here's a map to give you an idea of how many organizations there are. Our service challenge is for each house to adopt just one of these organizations and to develop a plan to join them in their service to the community. This will take place on a date to be specified in April. That means you'll have 6 months to identify the organization you want to help and to plan your day of service helping that organization. As the house advisors, we will guide you through this process. This is going to be a big effort. It will require us to work well together to make a plan and to execute it. We will roll out more details.
I mean, we don't have to do it right away, but.
The first step is that the houses will need to appoint 3 specific officers to be part of the team to organize this effort for each of the houses.
Yeah.
These offices are
Sorry,
concerned
before
activities
then.
of publicity and culture and community. If you are a student serving in a student council role, if you want to be part of something central to our school year this year, we recommend you pick up an application in the lobby outside and read it. If you want to play a critical role in this effort, take an application from the lobby, fill it out, and submit it to your house advisor, and they will reach out to you.
To wrap up this challenge, we really want to emphasize these 3 principles that Mr. Davis suggested: need, opportunity, and challenge in your own lives. So what are some needs that you could fill? Start thinking about those things. What are you capable of contributing to those needs? What are your skills and talents and interests? What opportunities are there for you to stretch out of your comfort zone and challenge yourself to serve? Our mission this year is ultimately to help every one of us grow in this area of service. So we'll all be a little bit better at applying these ideas to our personal lives outside of school and in school as well. And there's so much that we hope for you, as Mr. Clark mentioned earlier. We hope for your happiness, and we hope that as students of OCCA, our greatest desire for you is that you have the depth of character and courage to truly be a leader and truth speaker in the world. So that's what we hope this service challenge inspires in you, and I'm going to invite Mr. Davis up to share with us.
This is house time, right? But before proceeding, please pay attention to instructions. Okay. All right, so we're going to do house time a little differently this time. We're going to give you about 15 minutes to spend with your house for snack time. Okay. Then each house is going to be located in a different area between the 2 campuses. So at VEC, Jacos is going to meet and snack in the courtroom. Cato is going to meet and snack in the playground. At Trinity, Churchill is going to be stacked over at the lockers, and Washington's going to have a nice interior area to stack the Trinity collaboration. Right? When you're there, I want you to look up lists that are going to be posted. They're called the cohorts. You've all been assigned to one of 4 different cohorts, and 15 minutes later, you're going to go to the classroom specified on that list. And that's where you're going to do a lot of the house business that needs to take place today. This includes sign up for the house of bed, sign up for lightning basketball. All right? So you want to make sure you get to your cohort classroom on time. Next. Great. Okay. And then at 10:45 or around there, you're going to be able to come back out to the snack area, and then you're going to make your way to the event. We might push this out a little bit, given our schedule this morning. We'll let your cohort leaders know. Next.
Right now, we're running a little behind, so, it is 9:45. Let's go ahead and have our snack break until 10 o'clock, and then we can proceed into the 16 assignment after that.